The day she died, 5 beast husbands simultaneously committed suicide by slitting their throats to follow her in death. Yet no one in the entire snake tribe was surprised, because all the tribespeople knew. They were all picked up and brought back by the girl herself. When she was 3 years old, she brought back a wolf cub. It was so dirty, she thought it was a puppy. At 4 years old, she carried back a large bird with broken wings, and proudly declared it was a new species. But no one recognized that it was actually the snake tribe's natural enemy, the snake uncle. Just like this, picking up strange creatures all the way, she lured 5 male beasts into the snake tribe, and incidentally, raised them into her own life. But after growing up, she was bewitched by Hua Jinghong's sweet words, and neglected the 5 beast husbands she had raised herself, favoring only Hua Jinghong alone. She thought that was love, but never expected that Hua Jinghong had already hooked up with her sister. Even more ironic, her sister's body had long been taken over by a transmigrator and was violated when she was young. Before she could say anything, she was silenced by the 2 joining forces, and those 5 beast husbands she had once wronged successively followed her in death, to be buried with her. When she opened her eyes again, Xiao only felt her whole body was wet. Before she could figure out the situation, she saw a gray dog lying on top of her, asking with a worried face, "Wife master, are you all right?" Yi Yao was instantly stunned. It was one of those beast husbands who had already died for love. Shen Jinjuan appeared by her side. But before he could answer, a female who bore a slight resemblance to her stepped out. "Yi Yao, your body is weak. And your mind isn't sharp either. If you ask me, you should give up on learning this talisman water technique. If you really drown in the river one day, won't your useless beast husbands cry themselves to death?" Hearing this, the dog, who had been looking at her with worry, immediately lowered his head in shame, not daring to look at her anymore. He truly lacked the powerful offensive abilities of those snake beastmen, and couldn't even protect his own wife. It was then that Yi Yao realized she had been reborn. She curled her lips into a faint smile. "Thank you for your concern, sister. I truly won't be learning this talisman water technique anymore." Before anyone could react, Yi Yao suddenly stood up and leaped into the river once again. Shen Jinjuan, panicking, prepared to jump in and save her. But then, he saw Yi Yao moving through the water as freely as a fish. He was instantly mesmerized. On the shore, Yi Nian's heart sank. Gritting her teeth, she said, "Then congratulations, little sister. I have matters to attend to, so I'll take my leave." Meanwhile, Yi Yao in the water glared with hatred at the retreating figure. Having died once, she now knew that this Yi Nian was not her sister at all. Her body had long been taken over by an otherworldly soul. This time, her fall into the river had nothing to do with learning how to float. She was pushed into the river from behind. The culprit was Yi Nian, but he did not expose it to their faces. Before the 5 beast husbands and himself became powerful, she could only temporarily hold still and not act. Then Jinjuan noticed that Yi Yao's body was trembling. Thinking that his wife was cold, he mustered up courage and leaned his body against hers. "Wife, my fur is thick. Let me warm you." Looking at the soft, cute dog in front of her, Yao cast aside those unpleasant memories. She reached out and pinched his 2 bells. This action made Shen Jinjuan completely freeze. "Wife, she actually pinched him there." In the past, Yi Yao never allowed Shen Jinjuan to get close to her, let alone make such an intimate gesture. If only the wife could always be like this. The scene was also witnessed by a group of females watching the excitement. "Ew, this Yi Yao isn't even disgusted. Didn't she always look down on these beast husbands? I understand her. She is, after all, the clan leader's daughter, but ended up with those perverted beast husbands. If it were me, I wouldn't be resigned either." Yi Yao, still experiencing the sensation in her hand, scoffed at these words. Shen Jinjuan was not a useless dog, but a rare, mutated celestial wolf. It's just a pity that in her previous life, he had just awakened, when his celestial wolf bloodline committed suicide for her out of love. Now, she vowed to cherish these 5 beast husbands properly. Seeing the dog so shy, he was about to short-circuit. She then let go, and said, "Jinjuan Oni-chan, I can't walk anymore. Can you carry me back to the cave?" As soon as the words fell, Shen Jinjuan transformed into human form. Before Yi Yao could react, Shen Jinjuan scooped her into his arms. Meanwhile, Yi Yao's other 5 beast husbands were hiding in the shadows. They saw this scene. 4 of them showed expressions of envy, then silently turned and left. Only Hua Jinghong remained standing there, displeased. That useless dog Shen Jinjuan. How dare he get so close to the wife, master? Thinking this, Hua Jinghong rushed out, glaring at Shen Jinjuan with a face full of anger. "What right do you have to hold the wife, master?" After speaking, he then threw a flirtatious glance at Yi Yao. "Wife, master, let me carry you back instead." Upon hearing this, Shen Jinjuan's arms trembled, but he did not voice a rebuttal, because he knew the wife master's heart entirely belongs to this peacock. Seeing the arms holding her, slowly loosening, Yao knew the dog was feeling inferior again, so she proactively tightened her arms around his neck. Speaking softly and sweetly, "Jinjuan Oni-chan, I'm so cold, can we hurry back?" Shen Jinjuan thought he had misheard. After Yi Yao repeated it twice more, he was overjoyed and tightly embraced the female in his arms. Ignoring Hua Jinghong beside them, he strode proudly toward the cave. After the person completely disappeared, Hua Jinghong finally snapped back to reality in disbelief. How could Yi Yao choose that useless dog Shen Jinjuan? He unwillingly shouted, "Wife!" But Yi Yao in the distance never once gave him a direct glance. Yi Yao's hatred for Hua Jinghong was even stronger than that of the transmigrated woman. But he didn't plan to divorce Hua Jinghong right now. He wanted to slowly push him into the abyss, because Yi Yao was the clan leader's daughter. Her cave was larger than that of ordinary females. "Jinjuan Oni-chan, thank you for walking me back." Shen Jinjuan shyly rubbed the back of his head. "Escorting my wife back is the duty of a beast husband." But as soon as he finished speaking, he saw Yi Yao directly start changing her beast skirt in front of him. Scaring him so much, he immediately turned around and covered his face. "Wife, I should go outside." Seeing Shen Jinjuan's reaction, Yi Yao curved her lips and hugged his waist from behind. Leaning close to Shen Jinjuan's ear, she softly whispered, "Jinjuan Oni-chan, don't be so shy. You are my beast husband. There's nothing you can't see." At this moment, Shen Jinjuan desperately wanted to take the little female right then and there. But he was afraid of scaring his wife, afraid that acting on impulse would displease her. He could only desperately restrain that desire. After Yi Yao put on her beast skirt, she noticed Shen Jinjuan still hadn't turned around and was about to leave. She acted coquettishly in front of him. "Jinjuan Oni-chan, tonight I want to spend the night in your cave. Is that okay?" After hearing this, Shen Jinjuan's eyes widened. Because this is a signal that the female wants to mate with this male. "Wife, she is inviting me." Shen Jinjuan excitedly held Yi Yao, trembling all over, his voice carrying a plea. "Wife, can you also be this good to Jinjuan in the future? Jinjuan isn't greedy. I just hope such days can last a little longer." Seeing Shen Jinjuan like this, Yi Yao only felt a sharp pain in her heart. Just as she was about to open her mouth to agree, she was interrupted by a voice. "Yao, it's bad. Your Huaiquan is self-harming on the back mountain again. I can't stop him. You need to go check on him quickly." After hearing this, Yi Yao didn't have time to think too much. Immediately prepared to go find Huaiquan. Although Shen Jinjuan felt somewhat disappointed, he was also equally worried about Huaiquan. quickly transformed into his beast form. Let Yi Yao sit on his back. When Yi Yao passed by Zhang Duo, who had delivered the message to her, she shouted to her good sister, Duoduo, "I'm going over first. I'll properly thank you when I get back." After saying this, she had already disappeared from the spot. Shen Jinjuan moved very quickly. In a short while, they reached the back mountain. Yi Yao told Shen Jinjuan to wait for him outside. He would go in alone. Shen Jinjuan really wanted to object, but looking at Yi Yao, that serious expression, he could only nod in agreement. By the time Yi Yao rushed over, she saw under the banyan tree a large-looking bird of prey, continuously harming itself with its sharp claws. Bright red blood flowed on the ground. Seeing this scene, Yi Yao's eyes immediately reddened. "Huaiquan, you stop right there." The figure under the banyan tree seemed not to hear, and kept slashing its body with its powerful claws. Huaiquan understood. It was precisely because his beast form was too ugly. That made the people in the tribe and his wife look down on him so much. His very existence was the original sin. Every time he harmed himself, it was just a wish to make his wife care for him a little more. Yi Yao only cared about Hua Jinghong. In her heart, there was never any place for the other 5 of them thinking this way. His claws once again slashed toward his own body. But this time, the blood that flowed was not his. When he came back to his senses, he realized it was an arm blocking in front of him. Huaiquan was immediately shocked and fearful. How could his wife be here? He just wanted to open his mouth to explain, but heard an angry roar. "Huaiquan, you have gone too far. How could you harm yourself like this? Your body belongs to me. Without my permission, you absolutely must not harm yourself again. Do you understand?" Looking at the tears in Yi Yao's eyes, Huaiquan's eyes reddened, his face full of disbelief. He was actually concerned about her body, rather than blaming her for grabbing his arm. "You're so good looking. Why would you think of self-harm?" Hearing Yi Yao's words, Huaiquan's aura turned sharp again. He sneered coldly. "Didn't you say my beastly form tainted your eyes?" Yao was immediately embarrassed. It seemed he really had said those words, but now wasn't the time to discuss this. So he reached out and coquettishly said, "Brother Huaiquan, I want a hug." Huaiquan swallowed hard, transformed back into human form, but remained cold and unmoving. "I'm already tired. Since neither the snake tribe nor you welcome me, then you should divorce me. Let me go and let yourself go too. In this vast beast world, there will always be a place for me." The heartless and cold words made Yi Yao's face instantly turn pale. His heart felt as if pierced by a knife. He was completely panicked. In desperation, he stood on tiptoe and kissed Huaiquan's pale lips. Tears welled in his eyes as he desperately burrowed into his embrace. "No, brother Huaiquan. From the first time I saw your beast form, I never thought it was ugly. But all the females in the tribe said so. For the sake of face, I stubbornly lied. I know I was wrong. Brother Huaiquan, please forgive me. Don't leave me." Yi Yao knew his past words had deeply hurt Huaiquan. Now, nothing he says is useful. He can only let him see his own sincerity. These words indeed stirred ripples in Huaiquan's heart. "You really don't dislike my beast form? Of course, your beast form has such long legs. It's much better looking than those cold snakes in the tribe." The reborn Yi Yao knew Huaiquan's beast form is actually the snake eater. It is the natural enemy of snakes, although no one in the tribe has seen a snake eater. Upon seeing his beast form for the first time, they felt an innate disgust and sense of threat. Thus, they disparaged Huaiquan's beast form as extremely ugly. His praise made Huaiquan feel much better. Seeing this, Yao pressed his advantage, gave him a light, fleeting kiss, then started acting coquettishly. "Brother Huaiquan, I was wrong before. Don't leave Yao. If you leave, Yao will cry painfully for you. Could you bear to make me cry?" Even the usually aloof Huaiquan After hearing this, completely softened his heart, used actions to show his attitude, till Yao, suffocating, pounded his chest. He then let go. Teasing the gasping Yao, he said, "So weak. If we, mate, could you handle it?" Yao's face flushed red from the teasing, but refused to be outdone. Retorted, "We'll know once we try in the future." Huaiquan wasn't that simple and honest. Jinjuan, upon hearing this, immediately smirked mischievously. Said, "Why wait for another day when today is available? Then let it be tonight. I'll wait for you in the cave." Yao noticed the various wounds on his leg, felt heartache and rolled her eyes. Was just about to say they should go after his injuries healed, when suddenly a voice came from the grass nearby. "Wife, master. You already promised to come to my cave tonight." Jinjuan had been waiting outside for a while. His wife master encountered misfortune, so he followed inside, and happened to witness this scene. So he hurried out to interrupt. But when he got closer, he noticed there were actually several palm prints on Ya's arm. He turned with a face full of anger to Huaiquan. "You dare harm the wife, master?" Huaiquan nearby didn't open his mouth to explain. After all, this was indeed caused by him. His manner of not explaining, in Shen Jinjuan's eyes, was a blatant disregard for him. So he prepared to take action. Yao saw the situation turning bad, immediately stepped forward and grabbed Shen Jinjuan's hand, explaining that he didn't injure me on purpose. "Let's go back and then." Before she could finish speaking, with a bang, Huaiquan fainted and fell to the ground. Seeing this, Shen Jinjuan immediately transformed into a beast star. Supporting Mu, Huaiquan and Yao hurried back to the tribe, summoned the tribe's only physician, Zhu Ming's. Under his treatment, Mu Huaiquan's pale face regained some color. After prescribing some herbal medicine, Yao respectfully saw Zhu Ming's out of the cave. Zhu Ming's is the father of her good sister Zhang Duo, also one of the beast fathers of the tribal high priest Zhu Ming's. Not long after, 3 more figures appeared outside the cave. They were Yao's other 3 beast husbands. The fox beast husband Ming and said with a mocking face, "Yo, this time, it's great." Lying directly in bed. Following behind him, the carp beast husband Qingju gave Yao a gentle smile. Walking at the very back was the white tiger beast husband Mo Xiaoyun with a cold and stern face. After entering the cave, he only glanced covertly at the stone bed, at Huaiquan on it, then stood with his arms crossed, without saying a word, and didn't even give a glance to Yao beside him. Since Mo Xiaoyun entered the cave, Yao's gaze had been fixed on him. In the past, Mo Xiaoyun was one of the top experts in the entire snake tribe. Thus, he was liked by all the females. But the powerful Mo Xiaoyun voluntarily became his beast husband. Not only actively brought him roasted meat, but also often picked wild flowers to give to her. But in the past, his eyes were only on Hua Jinghong, overlooking everything done by his other beast husbands. The prey that Mo Xiaoyun worked hard to hunt for him was directly given by him to Hua Jinghong. Later, during a hunt, he encountered an accident, nearly losing his life. He was finally saved by Zhu Ming's, but his strength regressed to the 2nd rank. From then on, Mo Xiaoyun became indifferent to him, extremely disappointed. At this moment, Shen, Jinjuan, and Huaiquan started arguing again. Mo was pulled back from her thoughts by the noise. She immediately ran to stand between them and stop it. "I don't want to see my beast husbands fighting amongst themselves. If anyone fights again in the future, I will divorce him." This statement successfully intimidated the 2 men. Just as Yao was secretly pleased with herself, Huaiquan, who was on the bed, rolled his eyes. He deliberately said in front of all the beast husbands, "Yao, don't forget to spend the night in my cave tonight." These words instantly angered Shen Jinjuan again. Forgetting his shyness, he beat him to it. "In your dreams, wife clearly promised me that she would come to my cave tonight. The other beast husbands instantly became unsettled upon hearing this. Even Mo Xiaoyun, who had previously maintained an expressionless face, his complexion changed. Ming En reacted the fastest. He directly reached out and grabbed Yao's arm. He lowered his head and placed a kiss on Yao's injured spot. Compared to Huaikuan and Ming En, I am more handsome. Would you like to consider coming to my cave tonight? Shen Jinjuan, who was standing to the side, heard this and glared at him furiously. Ming En, how can you be so frivolous towards our wife? Huaikuan's eyes also darkened. He was already mentally calculating about skinning a fox to make a fur blanket for Yao. Ming En, however, pouted dismissively. I am Yao's beast husband. How is this frivolous? Recalling the scene he saw earlier of Yao touching Ming En's bell, he couldn't help but feel a surge of heat inside. Also want to try. Although Gu Qingju and Mo Xiaoyun didn't speak, they cast a pitiful look at him. At this moment, Yao was conflicted. Which of the 5 handsome beast husbands should he choose? Originally, for him, he loved all 5 of them. But he couldn't satisfy them all at once, right? If they all came, he definitely wouldn't see the sun tomorrow. Before he could think of a solution, a figure filled with rage instantly entered from outside the cave. You 5 still want the wife master to enter the cave? Are you worthy? Seeing that the newcomer was Hua Jinghong, the other 5 beast husbands simultaneously rolled their eyes. Shen Jinjuan pointed at him and said discontentedly, we 5 are also the wife master's beast husbands. You've monopolized the wife, master, for so long. Now it's time to respect Yao's own wishes. Hua Jinghong completely ignored Shen Jinjuan. He walked very flirtatiously up to Yao. The wife master will only mate with me. After speaking, he tried to touch Yao's face, but Yao blocked it with his hand. Hua Jinghong didn't understand. Why was Yao so cold to him today? Unless he had found out about his private dealings with Yi Nian? But he dismissed this thought as soon as it arose. After all, in his view, Yao was very stupid and simply couldn't have found out. Yao wouldn't care what Hua Jinghong was thinking. He had already found a solution. Looking at the 5 beast husbands, she said, I won't go to anyone's cave. Only after brother Mu Huaikuan's injury has completely healed will I consider whose cave to spend the night in. Upon hearing this, the 5 beast husbands instantly showed disappointed expressions, thinking that Yao was still the same as before, unwilling to mate with them. Whatever she said about waiting until Mu Huaikuan's injury was completely healed was all just an excuse to put them off. 3 of them, disheartened, left Mu Huaikuan's cave. Yao knew they had misunderstood, but she wasn't in a hurry to explain. She would use her actions to prove to the beast husbands that she was no longer the same Yao as before. Shen Jinjuan did not leave. He looked at Yao, forcing a smile as he said, no matter what decision you make, wife, Jinjuan will always support you. Yao felt a warmth in her heart. Thank you, Jinjuan. Afterwards, Shen Jinjuan escorted Yao back to her cave. From beginning to end, he never once glanced at Hua Jinghong. The smile on the peacock's face grew increasingly stiff. This was the most humiliating day since he became Yao's beast husband. As soon as Yao returned to her cave, she took a piece of prey hunted by the beast husbands and went to thank Zhang Duo, who lived in the neighboring cave. Duo, if it weren't for you and Uncle Zhu this time, Huaikuan would have been in danger. After speaking, she casually placed the prey on the ground. It's fine to thank me, but you shouldn't bring gifts. If you act so distant, I'm going to get angry. As Zhang Duo spoke, she even pouted, putting on an angry expression. Yao pointed at the prey and said with a laugh, who said it's all for you? Wait until your Kong Yunu prepares it. I'll definitely come over for a meal. He knew that if he didn't say this, Duoduo would not lose weight. Kong Yunu was one of Zhang Duo's beast husbands. He was the only snake tribesman who was exceptionally skilled in cooking. Hearing Yao say this, Zhang Duo didn't refuse anymore. Instead, she happily accepted the prey. Then, once Yunu prepares it, I'll send some over to you later. After chatting with Zhang Duo for a while, by the time he returned to the cave, it was already dark. Then, he heard waves of ambiguous and stimulating sounds coming from outside the cave. These sounds made it impossible for him to sleep. He couldn't control his mind, and the faces of his other 5 beast husbands surfaced in his thoughts. At this moment, he felt some regret. He should have accepted all of them today. In the dense forest of the nearby back mountain. Why did you call me out so late? Yi Nian frowned and asked impatiently. Hua Jinghong smelled the scent emanating from him and realized he had just finished mating with a male. Unable to help it, he swallowed hard. Nian, I just missed you a little tonight. Yi Nian looked at him with a face full of disdain. It seems you were snubbed by Yao, and that's why you thought of coming to find me. Hearing him mention Yao, Hua Jinghong's rising desire was extinguished. In the middle of the night, Yao seemed to have changed. He is now very close to the other young women. He started to neglect me. Nian, why don't you take this opportunity to take me in sooner? After saying this, he looked at Yi Nian with expectant eyes. He had long been eager to become Yi Nian's partner. Yao is useless except for his face. Even small tasks like picking wild fruit require his beast husbands to take turns. But Nian is the only female in the entire beast world continent who possesses supernatural abilities. He might even become the next clan leader of the snake tribe. Unexpectedly, upon hearing this, Yi Nian's face instantly fell. But he still tried to put on a fake smile. I also want to take you in as soon as possible. But you know, Zhang Qingyu and the other 2 are very jealous. Your strength isn't as great as theirs right now. I'm afraid they might make things difficult for you in private. For now, it's better to stay by Yao's side and gather more resources to improve your strength. Hua Jinghong's face turned grim after hearing this. But Yao is very cold to me now. Will he still share all the resources with me in the future? A trace of cunning flashed in Nian's eyes. You can deal with the other beast husbands, like you did with Mo Xiaoyun. Yi Nian had once intended for Mo Xiaoyun to become his beast father, but was brutally rejected. Harboring resentment, he secretly enlisted Hua Jinghong to set a trap, severely injuring Mo Xiaoyun. In the end, if not for Zhang Duo begging his father Zhu Ming's to save her, Mo Xiaoyun might have even lost her life. Hearing Yi Nian's words, Hua Jinghong's eyes lit up, immediately targeting the weakest Shen Jinjuan as the target the next morning. Yao, who had just finished washing the beast herd by the river and was preparing to return to the cave, saw a familiar figure on the road. Immediately dropping the beast herd, excitedly rushed over and hugged him. Fu's voice trembled. In their previous life, the Zhang Shilong suddenly left the snake tribe. Before leaving, he told Yao he was going to a place, but that time turned out to be their final farewell. My Yaoer has gained quite some weight. Fu can hardly hold you up anymore. The Zhang Shilong lifted Yao high into the air. Yao couldn't hold back her tears. Fu, I've missed you so much. Why do you have to leave the tribe once every year and never tell me your whereabouts? I'm truly worried about you. Seeing tears in his daughter's eyes, the Zhang Shilong let out a heavy sigh. Fu didn't mean to hide it from you intentionally. It's just that Fu's true identity is somewhat complicated due to the family's special situation. I must return once every year. Then why don't you take me back with you? The Zhang Shilong shook his head with a serious expression. That is a place you absolutely cannot go. This was the first time Yao had seen Fu adopt such a firm attitude. The Zhang Shilong only realized what he had said after he finished speaking. He immediately apologized, saying, I'm sorry. It was Fu who lost his composure. But Yao understood. Returning to the family was, for Fu and him, certainly not a good thing. Fu, don't get agitated. If Yao doesn't go, then it's fine. The father and daughter talked for a long time. When several beast husbands were mentioned, the Zhang Shilong advised Yao, I can see that those beast husbands are all very good to you. You should no longer be so fixated on Hua Jinghong. In a previous life, a Fu had also often advised him, but he would always agree just to brush hair off, and then continue to do things his own way, as usual. This time, he said very seriously, your daughter understands. In the future, I will definitely not let a Fu worry about this matter anymore. Hearing this, the Zhang Shilong felt extremely relieved in his heart. He glanced at the sky, stood up, and said, the tribe is holding a bonfire party tonight. Remember to bring your several beast husbands to participate. Cultivate and nurture your feelings. Yao, standing to the side, was obedient and agreed. Before leaving, the Zhang Shilong stuffed a new beast skirt into his hands. This is the latest beast skirt from the family side. Every time his Fu went out, he would bring back a gift for him. When the 5 beast husbands heard that Yao was going to take them to the bonfire party, they immediately became extremely excited. Even Huaikuan, who was severely injured, came early to wait outside Yao's cave. Under the anticipation of the 5 men, Yao, wearing the new beast skirt and a floral wreath, walked out of the cave. In an instant, all the beast husbands were mesmerized. Alright, so it's just changing into a new dress. Is it really that big of a deal? Although he said so with his mouth, in his heart, he was overjoyed. After all, who wouldn't want their beloved to be infatuated with them? The 5 beast husbands, having snapped back to reality, said in unison, it is a big deal. Of course, it is. Our wife, master, is the most beautiful. Your taste is not bad. But there was still one sentence left unspoken in his heart. However, my taste is even better than yours. Directly finding the 5 most handsome males to be my husbands. The bonfire party was very lively. The females pulled their respective beast husbands to dance around the flames. But Yao looked at his 5 beast husbands and felt a bit troubled. He could only hold the hands of 2 beast husbands, excluding Huaikuan, who was injured and couldn't dance. No matter which 2 he chose, the other 2 beast husbands would be disappointed. Looking at Ming An and Jinjuan, who reached out their hands to him, and then glancing back at the reserved Gu Qingju and Mo Xiaoyun, he still chose to take the hands of the former. He wanted Gu Qingju and Mo Xiaoyun to understand. Only the males who fight and compete get the candy. In matters of emotion, reserve and timidity are cowardice. So he deliberately, in front of the 2, interlaced his fingers with the fox and the dog. The 2 were so happy they couldn't close their mouths. The other 2 who weren't chosen looked utterly dejected. Huaikuan's eyes were full of envy and regret. If he hadn't harmed himself, then the one interlocking fingers with the wife master would be. There should be myself now. After the dance finished, Zhang Duo and the beast man, Kong Yunu, brought over a lot of roasted meat. Oh, this is the prey you brought me last night. Come and try it quickly. While eating, Yao gave Kong Yunu a thumbs up. Kong Yunu scratched his head sheepishly. It's mainly because the meat you provided was good. After Mo Xiaoyun tasted a piece of the meat, he suddenly asked, is this the smallest prey that was placed in your cave yesterday? Hearing his question, Yao was momentarily stunned, then nodded and said, I just took it randomly. Brother Xiaoyun, this prey, it wasn't hunted by you, was it? In the past, he would always take the prey that Mo Xiaoyun hunted and give it to Hua Jinghong. This time, he gave it to Zhang Duo without his permission again. Would he be angry? Thinking this, he apologized to Mo Xiaoyun with a sincere expression. I'm sorry, Brother Xiaoyun. Next time, I will definitely ask you first. It's fine, as long as it's not given to Hua Jinghong. I have no objections. Besides, being able to eat such delicious roasted meat today is also thanks to you. Although this meat is of good quality and fresh, if he were to roast it himself, it definitely wouldn't be this delicious. After hearing this, Yao felt relieved, his hanging heart settling down. Looking at Mo Xiaoyun, he seriously raised his hand and swore, "I promise. I will absolutely never give anything you give me to Hua Jinghong again." Mo Xiaoyun's expressionless face. Now, however, it was unusually adorned with a smile. "I believe you." While several people were chatting, the chieftain of the snake tribe, Yi He, arrived in this direction with Zhang Shilong and Yi Nian. Seeing this, Yao stepped forward to pay respects. "Greetings, mother and father." Yi didn't even glance at this daughter. Zhang Shilong hurriedly stepped forward to pull his daughter up, speaking gently. "Yao's new beast group is really beautiful." Yao knew this chieftain mother had never thought much of her. Therefore, she didn't take it to heart. She said to Zhang Shilong with a smile, "Thank you, Afu, for the gift of the beast group. My beast husband and Zhuoduo both praised me for it. It's good that Yao is happy." Seeing the father and daughter so intimate, he felt secretly uncomfortable inside, but couldn't very well say anything. Yi Nian, standing to the side, saw this, and suddenly spoke up, "Mother, the bonfire party is already nearing its end. I see. Many tribespeople still seem to want more. How about we have an ability demonstration segment to select the strongest warrior in the tribe?" The females surrounding them who heard this, all scoffed disdainfully. Nian clearly just wanted to show off his wood element ability, but the male beastmen all raised their hands in agreement. "So how should this ability be demonstrated?" "Like this," he said, as a green light appeared in Yi Nian's hand. The next second, thorny vines surged out from within the light. He looked at Yi Nian's ability and nodded in satisfaction. Other beastmen also thought Yi Nian's wood-type ability was very powerful. A cold sneer flashed across his face. Then, countless vines very accidentally entangled Yao, lifting the person straight up, hanging him in the air. He wanted Yao to be publicly humiliated. But what he didn't expect was that after Yao was hung up there, he wasn't the least bit afraid. He swung back and forth leisurely, playing around. He even stopped the beast husbands who rushed to save him. The Zhang Shilong nearby, afraid his daughter would get hurt, scolded Yi Nian with a dark face for his mischief, and told him to quickly let Yao down. But he was just a male with no say. Yi Nian didn't take his words seriously at all. Seeing this, the Zhang Shilong had no choice but to look at Yi He. "Shi Ju, are you just going to let him act so recklessly, without regard for the consequences?" He, however, was unconcerned. "It's not as serious as you make it out to be, Wolf. I believe Yi Nian knows his limits." Seeing that he wasn't achieving the effect he imagined, Yi Nian directly let Yao down. Yao had seen through early on what this transmigrated woman was scheming. He also understood that she wouldn't dare to truly harm him. So, just as he was about to reach the ground, he pretended to lose his balance and fell to the ground. Zhang Duo hurriedly ran up to help him up. "Yao, are you okay?" As he spoke, he prepared to ask his father to help treat him, but was promptly stopped by Yao, who put on a pitiful expression and said, "I'm fine, just too weak and lost my footing, that's all. There's no need to let Dr. Zhu waste his special ability on me." After his reminder, everyone present remembered the fact that Yao had been frail and weak since childhood. Their gazes towards Yi Nian changed. Yi Nian, as the elder sister, knew full well that Yao had been weak since childhood, yet still tormented Yao like this. Seeing these contemptuous looks, Yi Nian frowned in a fluster and said, "You clearly weren't afraid up in the air earlier, but then you panicked and fell when coming down. It looks fake no matter how you see it, right? Wasn't it you who tied her up in the air? How dare you now make a countercharge?" Zhang Duo angrily defended her good friend. "It wasn't on purpose. Who told him to stand there?" Yi Nian refused to admit it. The clan leader, Yi He, who was nearby, then said, "Since no one is hurt, let's continue." With that one sentence, the matter was swept under the rug. Next, many male beastmen took to the field and displayed their special abilities. Meanwhile, Yi Nian stood to the side, filled with the sense of superiority. While he was still fantasizing about becoming the master of the beast world, he suddenly discovered that Yao had actually walked to the center of the grounds. This conspicuous move puzzled all the beastmen. What was Yao about to do? Could it be that he had also awakened a special ability? Seeing this, Yi Nian sneered, "Yao, don't tell me you're here to display a special ability?" He never expected that his elder sister would actually guess correctly. Yi Nian wanted to mock him a little more. But in the very next second, they were completely stunned. They saw green light appearing in Yao's hand. It drew gasps of astonishment from the scene. It was Wood Element's supernatural power. Yao had also awakened Wood Element's supernatural power. Our snake tribe actually had 2 in a row. Females possessing Wood Element's supernatural power. This was simply the beast god manifesting divine power. At this moment, all the beastmen knelt on the ground one after another. Their expressions were extremely devout. Yao's family members were all happy for him. The females of the tribe were full of envy. Yi Nian gritted her teeth and said, "That's really great. Congratulations." After speaking, she gloomily stepped aside. Then Yao began to demonstrate the Wood Element's supernatural power. It was quite similar to Yi Nian's, but just as it was about to conclude, he suddenly turned pale and shouted to the beast husbands, "I'm about to lose control. Quick, stop these vines. Don't let them hurt anyone." After the beast husbands heard this, they uniformly used their supernatural powers to control the vines. After the vines calmed down, Yao went limp and fell into Shen Jinjuan's arms. Then, a vine quickly swept past the crowd and suddenly lashed Yi Nian across the face. In that instant, no one could react. My face. Just as Yi Nian was about to lose her temper, Yao in Shen Jinjuan's arms hurriedly apologized. "I'm sorry, elder sister. It's my first time controlling vines. The Wood Element's supernatural power is still a bit uncontrollable. You won't blame me, will you, sister?" Seeing her weakly nestling in her beast husband's arms and crying, everyone who heard it felt pity in their hearts. "Wife, it's not your fault. You were able to awaken wood-based supernatural powers. That in itself is already remarkable. After all, Yi Nian is your elder sister. We all believe she definitely wouldn't blame you." These words made Yi Nian's face turn so cold it could drip water. Yet she couldn't utter any harsh words either. He looked at the scars on that face, but felt very heartbroken. "You don't have the skill to learn how to control vines like a Nian, causing your elder sister to get injured for nothing. You really went too far this time. Am I fucking even your biological child?" He chanted Aramason in his heart, but his face was full of tears. "Mother is right. It's because I'm incapable." Zhang Duo couldn't stand to see her good sister wrong. Even if it was the clan leader, she dared to confront them. "Clan leader, what you said is wrong. Just earlier, when Yi Nian hung Yao in the air, you weren't acting like this. Could it be that Yao isn't your daughter either?" Being questioned by a junior, Yi's face instantly turned cold. "Are you questioning me, the clan leader?" Although Zhang Duo was afraid, she still gritted her teeth, preparing to seek justice for her good sister. But she was stopped by the Zhang Shilong, who had been holding back for a long time. Then he bowed to Yi and said seriously, "Please remember, divorce me. Since you treat Yao so unfavorably, then I will take Yao and leave this place. The beast world is so vast. There will always be a place for us to stay." These words made Yi momentarily flustered. Seeing that Yi was already wavering, Yi Nian then knew that she could no longer force Yao to apologize today. Might as well take the opportunity to back down, to make mother feel more sorry for her. So she spoke up and said, "Mother, little sister definitely didn't do it on purpose. I don't blame her either. Let's just forget about this matter. Don't harm the tribe's harmony because of me." These words eased the tense atmosphere. Afterwards, he, looking full of heartache, took Yi Nian and left. When Yao was returning, several thin men competed to escort him. To his surprise, Mo Xiaoyun actually also mustered up the courage to step forward and offer to escort him. Since there is progress, then of course, a reward should be given. So he chose Mo Xiaoyun. Along the way, Mo Xiaoyun just quietly followed by his side. After watching Yao enter the cave, Mo Xiaoyun then turned and left. When returning to his own cave, he unexpectedly ran into Hua Jinghong, whose face was gloomy. "Stay away from my cave. You are not welcome here." Hua Jinghong didn't care about his hostile attitude. A Mo Xiaoyun who only has second-tier strength left. He isn't afraid of him. He was somewhat displeased seeing Mo Xiaoyun escort Yao back to the cave. So he came to his cave entrance to vent his anger. "Mo Xiaoyun, you are now just a second-tier trash. Hot-tempered. Your mouth isn't sweet either. Just which female would like someone like you? A beast husband with no redeeming qualities." With each taunt from Hua Jinghong, his heart felt a degree of satisfaction. But he failed to notice Mo Xiaoyun's murderous gaze. "You're asking for death." After roaring, he directly transformed into his beast form, opened his massive maw and lunged to swallow Hua Jinghong whole. Hua Jinghong, who was still gloating, instantly sensed the aura of death, hastily transformed into a peacock and flew into the air to evade. "Mo Xiaoyun, have you gone mad? You actually want to eat me?" This time, he was also angered, directly used his wind elemental ability to strike at the white tiger. Mo Xiaoyun, whose old injuries hadn't yet healed, was clearly no match for the peacock, soon began to be unable to hold on. But Hua Jinghong also had some of his feathers burned off by the fire elemental ability. He didn't dare to truly strike a fatal blow, because if he actually killed Mo Xiaoyun, it would violate the snake tribe's taboos, and he would be imprisoned in the terrifying dark prison. He also didn't want to fight this madman anymore, threw out a couple of harsh words, and fled in a panic. The hunter was gone. The severely injured white tiger could no longer hold on, collapsed heavily to the ground. The pain inflicted by Hua Jinghong's words was 10,000 times stronger than the physical pain he felt now. His eyes filled with despair. "How would it kill you to love me a little?" Early next morning, just then, the sound of Guzi came from outside the cave. "Wife, I've prepared fresh wild fruits and water for you." Hearing this, his stomach immediately let out a gurgling sound. "Jinjuan Oni Chan, come in. This feeling of being fed anytime is really great." Yao ate a few fruits, took a sip of the water handed over by Shen Jinjuan. "Wow, this water is so delicious." Shen Jinjuan, hearing his wife's praise, looked very proud. "Wife, this is the dew I collected from the flowers this morning. It has a faint floral scent. I knew you would like it." After taking a big sip, he suddenly kissed Shen Jinjuan on the cheek. "This is a reward for you, brother." The sudden surprise made Shen Jinjuan's cheeks flush red. He resolved to fetch a bowl of dew for his wife every day from now on. He suddenly remembered what happened this morning and shared it with Yao. This morning also saw that peacock. Most of its feathers were burned by someone. It looked so ridiculous. Yao frowned instantly upon hearing this. In the entire snake tribe, those who seem to have awakened fire-based abilities, it seems, just thinking of this, he suddenly felt a shock in his heart. "Let's hurry to Mo Xiaoyun's cave." Shen Jinjuan, upon hearing this, also understood immediately, quickly carried Yao to the front of Mo Xiaoyun's cave. Then they saw the white tiger lying in a pool of blood. Seeing this scene made his heart stop for half a beat. If it weren't for Shen Jinjuan turning back into human form to support him, he would have already fallen to the ground. Fortunately, Mo Xiaoyun still has a heartbeat. Shen Jinjuan looked at the tiger, unable to revert to its original form, and felt troubled. "Wife, you stay here and keep watch. I will go now to fetch physician Zhu. Don't go, it's already too late. Then what should we do? We can't just stand by and watch him wait for death, can we? Yao did not answer him. Instead, placed her own palm on the tiger. Then a white light appeared. Wife actually has healing type abilities. Could it be that wife possesses two abilities at the same time? Then Jinjuan stared in shock at the scene before him. But he knew now was not the time to ask about this. Saving the person is urgent. Under the envelopment of the white light, the wound was healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. The wounds on Mo Xiaoyun's body were not severe. They were caused by triggering old injuries combined with excessive blood loss. Under the healing of the white light, the massive white tiger finally transformed back into human form. Only then did Yao feel relieved. Wife, this must have been done by Hua Jinghong. What do you plan to do? He hoped Yao would severely punish Hua Jinghong and give Mo Xiaoyun justice. But Yao did not give him a definite answer. This matter still needs to wait until Mo Xiaoyun wakes up before discussing. Seeing Shen Jinjuan show a disappointed expression, he quickly explained, Jinjuan Oni-chan, I am not trying to shield him. The wounds on Mo Xiaoyun's body inflicted by wind-based supernatural abilities were not fatal. It could be seen that Hua Jinghong had already held back. If he were to directly punish Hua Jinghong severely, I'm afraid the clan members would not agree. These were merely Yao's words to Shen Jinjuan. In reality, the most important factor was that behind Hua Jinghong stood Yi Nian. A single strike must be fatal. Yao had thought Shen Jinjuan would be disappointed in him. Unexpectedly, Shen Jinjuan smiled and said, no matter what decision my wife makes, Jinjuan will support you. Afterward, Yao asked Shen Jinjuan to leave and attend to his own matters. He remained in the cave to take care of Mo Xiaoyun. By the time Mo Xiaoyun woke up, just saw lying on the edge of his stone bed Yao, who was sleeping soundly. His body, which had been somewhat painful originally, at this moment seemed as if it had disappeared. This was the first time he had seen his wife master's sleeping appearance up close. Am I good looking? Yao, with one eye open, asked him with a smile. Mo Xiaoyun's face instantly turned bright red. Very good looking, his voice even a bit stammering. Do you only want to look? Don't you want to do something else? Yao said with a seductive expression. After hearing this, Mo Xiaoyun choked on his saliva and coughed repeatedly. Alright, I won't tease you anymore. After your injuries heal, we'll have plenty of time. As she spoke, Yao gently patted his back. After saying this, she put away her playful expression and asked with a serious face, Brother Zhao Yun, was it Hua Jinghong who injured you? Mo Xiaoyun did not hide it either, and told Yao everything exactly as it happened. The reason I was injured so severely is because old injuries flared up. It wasn't because of him. After hearing this, Yao pouted angrily. But he was the one who provoked first. It's all his fault. Our brother Zhao Yun is the most amazing. After your old injuries are cured, you must protect Yao. After hearing this, Mo Xiaoyun instantly became dejected. I'm afraid these old injuries of mine won't get better. As soon as he finished speaking, a white light appeared before his eyes, beginning to heal his wounds. Don't underestimate Yao. I will definitely cure brother Zhao Yun. Looking at that ball of white light, Mo Xiaoyun's face was full of astonishment. But he didn't ask a single word. He just quietly enjoyed the time alone with Yao. For the next 3 days, Yao stayed in Mo Xiaoyun's cave. Mo Xiaoyun now understands why Huaiquan would self-harm. He was even starting to have such thoughts himself. Yao would carefully take care of him during the day and sleep in the cave at night. Although nothing happened, just being able to watch Yao's breathtaking sleeping face made Mo Xiaoyun feel completely satisfied. Under Yao's 3 days of treatment, the injuries he suffered that night had completely healed. However, the old injuries from before still required long-term treatment to recover. After Yao left Mo Xiaoyun's cave, She encountered Zhang Duo carrying a basket. Duo, are you going to the forest to pick wild fruits? Yes, the wild fruits at home are almost finished. I want to go pick some more. After hearing this, Yao said excitedly, Duo, I want to go pick wild fruits with you too. Zhang Duo refused without even thinking. He still remembers when they were kids. Once he took Yao out to play secretly. But Yao's body was too weak, and she fell ill. When he returned, Alim gave him a good beating. Yao also knew the reason he wouldn't take her. So she held his arm and acted coquettishly. Oh, Duo. Just let me go. You forgot that I've already awakened my supernatural abilities. Now, going together can also protect you. Hearing this, Zhang Duo agreed. This was still Yao's first time going out in the true sense. She was too curious about the forest. Her gaze was always drawn to the wild fruits and flowers ahead. As a result, not paying attention, she wandered further and further away. When she came to her senses, she realized she had become separated from Zhang Duo. At this, she was completely panicked. Haven't I screwed over my good sister again? I actually forgot that you've already awakened your supernatural abilities. You should come with me. It's really great to have supernatural abilities. When Qie Yue and the few other females traveling with them heard that Yao was going, they all expressed their welcome. Although Yi Nian also had supernatural abilities, he was arrogant. Ever since he awakened his wood element ability at the age of 10, he never went out with these females again. Now that Yao had also awakened a wood element ability, and was even willing to take the initiative to go with them, they were naturally extremely pleased. After greeting each other, they set off towards the forest. The females usually went to the forest's periphery. The area around the periphery was mostly inhabited by small animals with little to no killing power. However, there were plenty of edible wild fruits and vegetables. The females had no means to protect themselves, so this place was very safe for them. After arriving at the forest, it was like she had discovered a novel world. She circled around and around inside the forest. One moment, looking at this. He'll touch that one for a while. Everything looks new and interesting to him. Zhang Duo knew this was essentially his first time out, and he still didn't understand anything. So he explained things to him from the side. This is a wild ground cherry. You can eat that one with thorns. It's called a prickly pear. You can eat it too. And also, this one is a ground cherry. I really like eating these. The common wild fruits are just these few types. Oh Yao, if you come across a wild fruit you don't recognize, you must ask me. Some wild fruits are poisonous. You absolutely must not eat them randomly. Afraid Yao wouldn't take his words to heart, Zhang Duo fixed his gaze on a cluster of wild fruit whose roots and stems were purplish red, and whose fruit was a deep purple color. Look at this wild fruit, it looks pretty. But when I was little, I ate a cluster, and was directly carried back to the tribe. If my father hadn't exhausted his supernatural ability to save me at that time, I would have been poisoned to death. From then on, we gave it a name, called purple poison fruit. Don't touch it, no matter what. Don't go touching brightly colored fruits, my father said. The more vibrant the fruit, the more potent its poison. Have you remembered everything I've said? Yao also knew that when it comes to food, you absolutely cannot be careless. Male beastmen with supernatural abilities to protect themselves are somewhat better off. But if a female without supernatural abilities eats one by mistake, she might just lose her life. Yet every year, there are females who are poisoned to death from mistakenly eating wild vegetables or wild fruits. How rare females are. Which has led to the current clan leader, Yihe, issuing an order forbidding anyone from trying new wild fruits and vegetables. The types of wild fruits and vegetables known to the entire snake tribe are only a few kinds. She nodded busily. Thank you. These few types you mention, the edible wild fruits and vegetables, I have already memorized them. You can rest assured. That's good, then let's begin. At first, Yao was like the other females, gathered in a small circle, all picking wild fruits and digging for wild vegetables nearby, so they could look out for each other. But after all, this was practically his first time going out. He was too curious about the forest. His gaze was always drawn to the wild fruits and flowers ahead, getting further and further away from Zhang Duo and the others, gradually disappearing from sight. Soon, he was holding quite a few wild fruits in his hands. He had also picked some beautiful flowers himself, held them to the tip of his nose to smell. They had various floral scents, which pleased him immensely. He was happily about to share with Zhang Duo. But when he looked up, he was stunned. He found himself beside a lake, surrounded by vibrant flowers, plants, and trees. Towering trees seemed to envelop the entire lake, blocking out the sky. But the water was still very clear. Fish and shrimp swam freely and joyfully in the water. As if sensing Yao's arrival, they curiously swam over, secretly observing this female. Yao thought to himself, this is bad. He had heard Zhang Duo and Shen Jinjuan say, there are no lakes on the outskirts of the forest. He had already left the outskirts. Without realizing it, he had walked to the middle perimeter of the forest. He began to retrace his steps, but he couldn't quite distinguish the direction. Walking and walking, he ended up back by the lakeside. After several repetitions, his body was truly somewhat fatigued. He began sitting on the shore, panting. Frustrated, he patted his own forehead. After a few pats, he forced himself to calm down, thinking about what to do next. After Zhang Duo and the others finished gathering wild fruits and vegetables, the sky gradually darkened. Each of them had quite a bountiful harvest. Zhang Duo, with her full harvest, wanted to call Yao to return to the tribe together. But after looking around, she didn't see any sign of him. Her heart sank. Instantly, she had a bad premonition. After receiving no response, she began to worry. Quickly asked the few females who came together, Kia Yue, have you seen Yao? We haven't seen him. The females shook their heads one after another. It's over. It's Yao's first time out. He must be lost. Although this is the forest outskirts, after night falls, the animals will come out to forage. They might very well come to the outskirts. Even though Yao has awakened his special ability, it's still very dangerous. No, I have to go find him. Kia Yue, seeing how anxious she looked, quickly tried to soothe Zhang Duo. Don't panic just yet. I think we'd better hurry back and report to the clan leader. Seeing the sky darkening, it's not easy for just a few of us to search, Yao told the clan leader. Later, let the male beastmen with special abilities come to look. That way, they won't encounter danger. Qi Yue remained relatively calm. After listening, Zhang Duo nodded repeatedly. You're right. Let's hurry and go find the clan leader. He stumbled along the way, yet he ran extremely fast. The large pouch filled with wild fruits and vegetables. He abandoned all of it. Yao, don't be afraid. Yao is missing. Zhang Duo ran back to the snake tribe to report. At the same time, in the forest, having separated to hunt, Ming En and Gu Qingju, who had agreed to meet at the usual place, had already been waiting for a long time. Yet Jinjuan's figure was nowhere to be seen. The sky grew darker. Gu Qingju now wore a worried expression. Jinjuan had not returned for so long. Could he have encountered some danger? Hearing this, Ming En pondered for a moment and said to Gu Qingju, you and I will split up and search the area. If we can't find him, we return to the tribe and inform the chief. All right, Gu Qingju gave a slight nod. Naturally, they did not find him in the end. The sky was almost completely dark now. They could not stay any longer, lest they delay the time to rescue Shen Jinjuan. The two had just exited the forest when they saw many beastmen holding torches, rushing in their direction. Among them was also the sound of Zhang Duo's tearful voice. Hurry, come with me. The sky is completely dark now. Yao will be in danger. Originally, Zhang Duo was a female of noble status and was not permitted to take such risks. But for Yao's sake, she insisted on coming. In her own words, "I am Yao's best sister, and I was the one who lost him. If anything happens to him, I would never be at peace for the rest of my life. No, he won't come to harm. I will definitely find him." Hearing that Yao was in trouble, Ming An and Qingzu's faces changed simultaneously. They hurried forward to question Zhang Duo. "What did you just say? What exactly happened to our wife?" Seeing them, Zhang Duo wore an apologetic expression. Her voice was somewhat choked with sobs. "Today, Yao came to find me. Want to come with me to the forest to pick wild fruits. I brought her along. But when we were preparing to return in the evening, we discovered she had gone missing. We couldn't find her, so we had to return to the tribe for help. It's my fault. I'm sorry to all of you." Seeing her cry almost to the point of fainting, Qingyu comforted her, saying it was her own fault for not knowing the way and still insisting on running around recklessly. "Adwa, this isn't your fault." After he finished speaking, Ming En and Gu Qingju glared coldly at him. Their gazes were chilling. It actually made his heart tremble. Zhang Qingyu was puzzled. They're just 2 third-level beastmen. How could they give him such a feeling? But right now, finding Yao is the priority. After all, Zhang Duo was the one who brought her out. She is the tribe chief's daughter. If something really happened, I'm afraid the tribe chief and her several beast husbands would not let Zhang Duo off. Zhang Duo is, after all, her sister. I'll refrain from dealing with these 2 good-for-nothings for now. Kong Yunu was also nearby, comforting, saying, "Remember, don't be like this. Yao is your closest sister. She won't blame you. You shouldn't blame yourself either. Our most urgent task is to find her quickly." Zhang Duo nodded. "You're right. I guess she got lost and probably headed towards the central area. We need to find her quickly." Zhang Duo was about to leave with several beastmen when Ming En said Shen Jinjuan is also missing. "We were just about to return to report. Unfortunately, we happened to hear such bad news." "What day is today?" The wife and he actually disappeared in the forest at the same time. After speaking, he squinted and scrutinized Yi Nian beside Zhang Qingyu, his face full of suspicion. "Yi Nian, why are you here too? If we're talking about who Yao clashes with the most in the snake tribe, it's actually her own elder sister." Yi Nian is superficially polite, but in reality, she targets Yao at every turn. Now that Yao and Shen Jinjuan have suddenly disappeared at the same time, he truly feels somewhat suspicious. Seeing his unfriendly gaze, Zhang Qingyu immediately shielded his wife domineeringly, pulling Yi Nian behind him. "Ming En, what do you mean by that? The wife has awakened wood element abilities and is now at the 3rd level. Her strength is no worse than yours. Moreover, Yao is her younger sister. As her elder sister, is she not allowed to care for her younger sister without being suspected by you?" Yi Nian chimed in from behind. "Qingyu is right. I came because I was worried about Yao and wanted to help search for her. Ming En, you surely don't suspect that Yao's disappearance could have been done by me, her elder sister, do you?" She admitted that Shen Jinjuan's disappearance was indeed related to her and Hua Jinghong. But Yao's disappearance was an unexpected delight. It seems the system was right. As a transmigrated woman, she is the darling of the heavens. Even fate is helping her. You must die in the forest. Such a female with supernatural abilities is once again only me, Yi Nian, alone. You could bind with me, seize Yi Nian's body and gain a new life, and even awaken supernatural powers. You are naturally the darling of the heavenly Tao, as long as you obediently listen to me and strive to sweep away all obstacles, becoming the strongest in the beast world. In the future, the entire beast world continent will bow to you alone." These bewitching words came from the system in Yi Nian's mind. Ming En, hearing him say this, responded indifferently. You're overthinking it. I was just asking casually. Seeing that they still had the mood to quarrel, Zhang Duo, feeling upset and restless, shouted for them to take the argument back. Arguing instead of quickly going to find someone. The Zhang Shilong also came along. He didn't say a word the entire time, but his tense emotions showed how worried he was. He didn't care who was arguing, but instead transformed into his beast form to travel. Then, addressing Yao's 3 beast captives, Ming En, Gu Qingju, and Hua Jinghong, he said, Ming En, Qingju, Jing, Hong, you 3 come with me to Zhongwei, Huaiquan, and Mo Xiaoyun, because their injuries haven't healed. Even if they came out, they wouldn't be of much help. They haven't been informed yet. Hua Jinghong immediately transformed into a peacock and flew in the air. His black pupils filled with confusion and complexity. Today, he was dealing with a god. How did Jinjuan Yao also go missing? Could it be that Yi Nian secretly had a hand in it? Jinghong, you fly in the air. Your field of view is better than all of ours. Pay more attention and observe carefully. See if there are any traces of Yao and Jinjuan. Hua Jinghong, the peacock, nodded her head. I know. Don't worry, Yao is my wife. I will definitely do my best to find her. Seeing that they had left, Zhang Duo couldn't wait either. Taking the remaining beastmen, he headed into the forest. Yi Nian, along with a few beast husbands, walked at the very back. Seeing that no one was looking at him, the smile at the corner of his mouth was almost impossible to suppress. At the boundary between the inner and middle parts of the forest, Bright Moon Lake, the lost Yao had already circled around here several times. Not knowing which way was which, he didn't even realize he had already entered the inner part of the forest. Several times, he turned back again. Exhausted, he ate some fruits and drank from the lake water, and indeed regained some strength. However, this lake seemed somewhat eerie. No matter which way he walked, he always ended up circling back. Feeling utterly defeated, he simply lay down, waiting for the beastmen from the tribe to come find him. But as he lay there, he actually fell asleep. Then, he arrived at a place entirely white and misty. There was nothing here. Only a stone statue. It was a gigantic dragon, coiled around a stone pillar. Yao's eyes instantly became reverent. He immediately knelt and kowtowed to the stone statue. Yao pays respects to the beast god. The stone statue had no expression, but a golden light flashed across it. Then the dragon's mouth stiffly opened. We meet again. The beast god's voice was that of a woman. The words spoken held no emotion, but the listener instinctively straightened their back, their expression becoming solemn. Probably, this was an innate instinct of every citizen of the beast world. After all, the beast god is the deity of the beast world continent. Yao looked at the stone statue before him. His face carried a bit of embarrassment. Beast god, I am lost in the forest, and have been unable to find my way out. Could you help me? He didn't consider himself directionally challenged, but going around in circles, he just couldn't get out. After hearing his words, the stone statue said, Yao, don't be anxious yet. I have entered your dream this time. I came because of your special ability. Although Yao was simple, he was not foolish. He immediately understood the meaning behind the beast god's words. It seemed the reason he couldn't find his way out was likely the beast god's doing. Otherwise, why would he keep going around in circles, unable to leave this small silver moon lake? Beast god, is there something wrong with my special ability? He felt somewhat nervous inside. The special ability you carry was passed down to you by me. It is the most powerful ability in the beast world continent for 1,000 years. This means its advancement will be much more difficult than ordinary abilities. The conditions required for it are extremely stringent. It requires both exceptionally powerful talent and the perseverance to endure great hardship. More importantly, it also requires some specific conditions. And because of your past life experiences and innate talents, You were chosen by me to become my candidate for successor. But Yao, to truly become my successor, it isn't that simple. You still need to undergo 3 trials from the beast god. Are you ready? Although the stone statue's tone was indifferent, Yao sensed infinite solemnity within it. He seemed to be infected by this solemnity as well. His gaze firm. He nodded. Beast god, sir. I am ready. If the beast god hadn't given him the chance to be reborn, he would have truly died with everlasting regret. Now, it's merely about accepting 3 trials. He could both avenge his past self and his beast husbands from his previous life, and become the beast god's successor, thereby continuously strengthening himself. Why wouldn't he do it? No matter how difficult these trials are, he will resolutely persevere. Very good. Seeing his determination, the beast god seemed very satisfied. I told you before, the transmigrated woman possessed your elder sister, Yi Nian, seizing another's place. You need to make the entire snake tribe see her true nature, and then completely drive her away. This is one of your trials. Mentioning the transmigrated woman, Yao's face filled with hatred. Beast god, sir. Please rest assured. I will definitely make everyone see her for what she is. Good. The stone statue continued speaking. After this period of investigation, I discovered that the true soul of Yi Nian has not dissipated, but was suppressed within her body by an unknown creature. Now, Yi Nian's body contains 2 souls within one vessel. Your second trial is to find a way to awaken the suppressed and slumbering soul. Upon hearing this, Yao was absolutely overjoyed. And he actually still exists. I originally thought that after the body was seized, the real older sister had already disappeared. I never expected she was merely suppressed within the body. 2 souls in one body. I truly have never heard of such a thing. He murmured to himself. By the way, Beast God Lord, do you know what the unknown creature suppressing older sister's soul is? I do not know either. It should be an invasive species from outside. Perhaps it is from the same world as that transmigrated woman. Or perhaps not. This was the first time Yao heard the beast god use such a hesitant tone. It seems this unknown creature is Yi Nian's assistant. Perhaps his awakening and his wood element ability are also related to it. Beast god, Lord. Regarding the matter of awakening older sister's soul, I will definitely spare no effort. I wonder what this third trial is. He was really somewhat curious. The beast god wasn't one to keep people in suspense either. The time he could appear was limited, so he quickly told Yao. So this third trial requires Yao to raise his ability to Tier 5 within 3 years, and become a Tier 5 powerhouse. The highest level of supernatural abilities in the Beast Rune continent is the 9th tier, but so far, no beastman has ever reached it. 9th tier ordinary tribe. Those who can break through to the 5th tier are already considered strong. Breaking through to the 6th tier allows one to roam freely outside. Only because after the 5th tier, every breakthrough to the next tier is extremely difficult. For ordinary beastmen, they usually awaken their supernatural abilities at the age of 3. Those with remarkable talent, such as Zhang Qingyu, Yunu, and Mo Xiaoyun, they can reach the 5th tier beastman level by the age of 20, already considered exceptionally gifted. But it still took them over a decade. Yao's difficulty in upgrading his supernatural abilities is greater than theirs, and he only has 3 years. This trial can be said to be of the highest difficulty. Gritting his teeth, Yao mustered the courage to ask the beast god, if the trial fails, what consequences will I face? These 3 trials, each one is more difficult than the last, especially the final one. He really has no confidence in it. Although it is a stone statue, Yao actually felt that it frowned. This is probably an illusion, because you and your 5 beast husbands were originally already dead. You should not continue to exist in this world. Therefore, once you fail the trial, you will no longer be my chosen successor. All of you will be erased into nothingness by the heavenly Tao. Yao only felt as if he had been severely struck. His mind went completely blank. If he fails, he and his 5 beast husbands would be completely obliterated by the heavenly way. He cannot bear such consequences. He kowtowed heavily to the stone statue before him. His tone carried a mix of determination and heaviness. Please rest assured, great beast god. I will definitely pass your trial and successfully become your true successor. Before the golden light on the stone dragon completely faded, it spoke one last sentence. I hope that the next time we meet, it will be when you have completed one of the trials. As the golden light completely dissipated, Yao also woke from his dream. After opening his eyes, he first looked around. He was still at Silver Moon Lake. That's right. The great beast god's trial has been issued. This time, it shouldn't keep going in circles and still return here, right? As he spoke, he began to leave, unaware that he was heading towards the inner part of the forest. As he walked further and the bushes grew denser, he realized something was wrong. Moreover, there was a strong smell of blood in the surroundings. He quickly turned around to head back. But at that moment, he heard a commotion not far away. Yao's expression immediately turned alert and grave. A red fire-type ability unexpectedly lit up in his hand, illuminating the path ahead of him. No wonder the smell of blood was so strong. Under the illumination of the flames, he noticed that the surrounding plants were stained with blood. The trail of blood extended all the way to the source of the noise. Yao dared not make a sound. This blood doesn't look like animal blood, more like the blood of an ORC. Could it be that an injured ORC is trapped deep within the forest? He mustered his courage and moved forward. The smell of blood grew increasingly strong. It was so pungent it made him frown. At the same time, he sensed the approaching danger. A figure hiding in the bushes blinked its gem-like eyes, enduring the pain in its body and waiting for an opportunity to strike. Yao stopped 3 steps away from the bushes. A ball of fire in his hand suddenly grew larger, illuminating the inside. At that moment, the large figure suddenly burst out, trying to escape from the other side. Under the illumination of the firelight, Yao saw his appearance clearly. His entire body was gray, his fur stained with a large amount of blood. His 4 paws were mangled and bloody. When those sapphire-like eyes saw him, the initial panic turned into astonishment. Yao's face was also full of disbelief, because it turned out to be Shen Jinjuan, who had been punished. Shen Jinjuan is me. Worried that he might be afraid and run away, Yao quickly shouted. The gray-furred dog, due to forcibly changing direction, fell heavily to the ground. But when he heard this familiar voice, he didn't hesitate for a moment. He got up again and limped over to Yao's side. Wife, have you come to take Jinjuan back? The dog's eyes were filled with tears, and he was very excited. He didn't know that Yao was also lost. I thought they had found him missing and came looking for him. Hope ignited in his eyes, looking at the wounds all over his body, and how he walked with a limp. Yao desperately suppressed the sob in his throat. He patted the furry dog's head and said in a trembling voice, I'm here to take you back. Jinjuan Oni-chan, don't be afraid. Hearing his words, Shen Jinjuan's pupils welled up with tears of emotion. He kept rubbing his head against Yao, his whole body trembling. Wu, Jinjuan thought he would never see his owner again. After hugging and crying for a while, Shen Jinjuan was seriously injured and unable to return to human form. Lying on the ground, sticking out his tongue and panting heavily, Yao gently stroked the wounds on his paws, his eyes full of heartache as he asked, Jinjuan Oni-chan, how did you get so seriously injured? It turned out that Shen Jinjuan, as usual, was peacefully gathering dew. He and Gu Qingju separated to hunt, agreeing to meet at the usual spot. But today, in the middle area, he actually couldn't find prey no matter where he went. All he encountered were little rabbits and small hedgehogs. They were all too small. Not even enough meat to fill the gaps between his teeth. Just as he was lamenting that the forest was a bit unusual today, and preparing to turn back the way he came, he saw an injured wild boar. He was only a second-tier beastman. This wild boar looked twice his size. Under normal circumstances, he naturally wouldn't dare to take it on himself. But today, the wounds on that wild boar looked quite severe. Plus, he was empty-handed at that time. So he wanted to bring it back and give it to Yao. His special ability is cloning. Currently at the 2nd rank, therefore, he can only manifest another clone with strength close to his own. 2 clones in total. He dealt with the injured wild boar. Originally thought it wouldn't be too difficult, but didn't expect the wild boar to unleash its potential just before death, running extremely fast. In the forest, he was even more familiar with it than Shen Jinjuan. Although Shen Jinjuan chased relentlessly, it still took a long time to catch up. Unknowingly, he chased deep into the inner part of the forest, finally managed to hunt the wild boar, only to find himself in the inner area, just as he was about to bring it back to Yulumingan. When gathering in Qingju, he encountered an ambush of traps. Speaking of this, Shen Jinjuan's dog-like face showed an angry expression. Wife? Those traps were clearly deliberately set by someone. Then they used the injured wild boar to lure me there. All these wounds on my body, my 4 bloodied and mangled paws, are all thanks to those traps. As he spoke, his dog-like eyes streamed with tears. If not for wanting to hold on to see my wife one last time, I'm afraid Jinjuan would have already died. As soon as the words fell, his massive figure collapsed with a loud thud. Completely unconscious, Shen Jinjuan and Yao were nearly scared to death, could only squat down and sigh. There was still breath from his nostrils, just breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't dare to lie on top of the dog, afraid of making those injuries worse. Shen Jinjuan's body was covered densely with wounds, especially a very deep hole under his abdomen, penetrating through to his back. A sharp piece of wood was still stuck in his back. It was clear at a glance that someone had deliberately whittled it that sharp. He was extremely severely injured. If not for relying on the willpower to see Yao Yi again, he probably would have collapsed long ago. Now that he saw Yao, he could no longer hold on, fainted and passed out. But what Yao didn't tell him was, he himself was also lost, couldn't find his way out. He needed to bring Shen Jinjuan inside this forest guard filled with dangers at every step, and safely spend one night. Looking at the wood stuck in his back, Yao almost choked with tears. Just who could be so malicious, wanting to kill him? Thinking of Mo Xiaoyun's experience, he suddenly understood right. It must be Yi Nian and Hua Jinghong. In the previous life, they only took action against Mo Xiaoyun and Huaiquan. This life, however, because he was reborn, his attitude towards Hua Jinghong was cold. So, that made him start targeting the other several beast husbands too. It must be like this. Looking at the severely injured, unconscious Shen Jinjuan before his eyes, he looked at the fire ability in his hand, and felt a strong sense of powerlessness welling up. For self-protection, before going out, deliberately copied Mo Xiaoyun's fear-based supernatural ability. Just because most animals in the forest fear fire. That's right. The supernatural ability inherited by him from the beast god is the ability to copy. As long as there is physical contact, he can copy others' supernatural abilities for his own use. Moreover, whatever rank the ability of the person you copy is, that is your rank. Of course, such a good thing only happens to those below the 5th rank. To copy the ability of a 5th rank powerhouse and be at the same level as them, his copying ability must first reach the 5th rank. This is presumably why the beast god demanded that he reach the 5th rank. Within 3 years, after reaching the 5th rank, he can copy the abilities of any beastman below the peak of the 8th rank and achieve the same level. That is to say, as long as his copy ability reaches the 5th rank, He is invincible below the 8th rank. But he heard from the beast god that, currently, across the entire beast world continent, there has never been an 8th rank powerhouse. Except for the beast god himself 1,000 years ago, who cultivated himself to the 9th rank, and ultimately became the beast god. Yao's copy ability is currently only at the 1st rank, so he can only copy one ability at a time. After he reaches the 2nd rank, he will be able to copy 2 abilities, and so on. No wonder this copy ability is so difficult to level up. It's several times harder than ordinary abilities, because it sounds incredibly powerful and terrifying. He couldn't imagine, if he really completes the Beast God's trial within 3 years, and raises his copy ability to the 5th rank, how strong he would be by then. And what kind of scene that would be. Thinking and thinking, the night gradually deepened. Yao tried to find some herbs, and applied them to Shen Jinjuan's bleeding wounds. After struggling for a long time, he finally managed to stop the bleeding. Wiping the sweat from his forehead, he was just about to lie down next to Shen Jinjuan. What's not so great is, he actually saw in the grass not far away several pairs of green eyes flickering. Immediately alarm bells rang loudly in his head. Those are the eyes of wolves. They were likely attracted by the scent of blood. Here, drawn over by it. Looking at their eyes full of desire. They have been targeted. Yao had never seen such a scene before. He instinctively wanted to seek protection. But then he remembered that Shen Jinjuan had already passed out. Now, he needed to be the one to protect. The dog remembered copying Mo Xiaoyun's fire ability. He stood up, mustered his courage, and threw a fireball at the lead wolf. I possess fire abilities. If you dare come any closer, I'll burn you to death. Although these wolves were large in size, they were all ordinary wolves, without any special abilities. Originally, they had caught the scent of a fellow creature on Shen Jinjuan, and came to investigate. Never expected it to be an awakened wolf form beastman, with a female next to him, just as they were about to enjoy a delicious meal. This seemingly beautiful and delicate female actually had a fire ability that countered their wolf pack. The fireball accurately hit the completely unprepared wolf, setting it ablaze, making it roll all over the ground, howling and screaming. It let out a few unwilling whimpers, ow, then fell to the ground dead. The tragic death of that wolf made the pack nervously retreat several steps in panic. They looked at the fire ability in Yao's hand, their green eyes filled with fear and unwillingness. How does this female have an ability? And it just happens to be the fire ability that counters them. Exchanging unwilling glances, they bared their teeth with fierce expressions, opened their large mouths, and leaped forward in a flash, dead. So many companions began to ponder the situation before them, searching for a breakthrough. But the ORC lying motionless, protected behind Yao, was the breakthrough. They seemed to be of one mind, pretending to all pounce on Yao, planning to fight him to the death. In reality, Silver Wolf took advantage of his unpreparedness, quietly circled behind Yao, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Yao faced these wolves attacking him all at once. His expression now turned somewhat grave. He was just about to fight with all his might, but he always felt something was wrong. His fire ability was so powerful. These wolves couldn't even get close before being burned to death. So why were they so eager to come and die? Could it be just to attract his full attention? In a flash of insight, Yao remembered Shen Jinjuan behind him, who had passed out. Completely defenseless, he quickly turned around and saw that wolf already aiming for his neck, ready to bite down. His face instantly changed color. His hands reacted faster than his mind. By the time Yao fully realized it, he found that fire had already been thrown towards that silver wolf. Yao didn't kill him immediately, but instead trapped him within it. The wolf pack that was originally going to attack him instantly lost their momentum. Looking at the silver wolf trapped by the fire, They all let out angry howls. Seeing this, Yao breathed a sigh of relief. It seems his guess was correct. This silver wolf is the leader of this pack of wolves. As the saying goes, to catch the thieves, first capture their leader. This wolf took the initiative to come to our doorstep, wanting to make a move on Jinjuan. But instead, it gave him an opportunity. Yao just patted the dust off his clothes, looking at the silver wolf trapped by the fire. Grinning, he said, "If I'm not mistaken, you're the leader, right? Before doing bad things, did you ever think you'd end up in my hands?" Although I didn't directly burn the silver wolf's body, being too close to it will roast the meat on its body until it's almost cooked. The silver wolf, being roasted, stuck out its tongue and panted heavily. But when it looked at Yao, it fiercely and angrily roared at him. "Let this king out immediately." Yao smiled cruelly, taking advantage of the moment when the other wolves were fearful but didn't dare to act. He unleashed his fire ability once again, surrounding them completely. The silver wolf forced itself to stand up and glared at him. "What are you going to do? If I don't kill you, you'll eat me and my dog. Naturally, I have to strike first against the wolves. If you want to blame someone, you can only blame yourselves." As his words fell amid the heart-wrenching howls of the wolf pack, and the silver wolf's eyes filled with fear, all the wolves burst into flames. They cried out in agony, running desperately to break out of the circle of fire. But in the end, they were burned alive, turned into a pile of charred corpses. And at this moment, under the illumination of the towering flames, Yao stood there. Yet it seemed to transform into a Rakshasa, beautiful, yet terrifying. The fire removed much of the bloody scent, but such a big commotion was bound to attract all the nearby animals. Yao couldn't care about that much. In the next moment, as if having made a ruthless decision, the fire ability in his hand burned onto the dog's paws. 10 claws, connected to the heart. Shen Jinjuan was quickly awakened by the heart-piercing burn pain, forced to open those blue pupils. Seeing the wreckage and firelight all over the ground, there was still some confusion in his eyes. "Remember what just happened here. I don't have time to explain to you. Escaping for our lives is crucial now. Can you walk?" Yao's words gave Shen Jinjuan a sense of urgency too. He nodded, "I can." He didn't ask anything, enduring the pain all the way, limping towards the inner part of the forest. He was more familiar with the forest, just wanted to bring Yao to safety. When they reached Silver Moon Lake again, Shen Jinjuan could no longer hold on, collapsed to the ground with a crash. All 4 paws mangled and bloody. The front paws still had marks from being burned by Yao's fire. He roared angrily, "Get up!" Struggled to stand up, but still couldn't get up. Yao's eyes blurred with tears watching him. He hurried over to hug the dog's head, comforting him. "Don't be like this. We're not leaving for now. This place should be safer." Shen Jinjuan cried, choked with sobs. "Wife, I am too useless. I'm holding you back. You should go quickly. Don't worry about me." "No, I won't go by myself." Yi shook her head. "Jinjuan brother, I have fire abilities. I can protect you." Really looking at the fire ability in her hand, Shen Jinjuan widened his eyes, stunned in place. "Wife, those fires originally came from your hand. But aren't you wood ability and healing ability?" Before, when he saw his wife use healing ability to save Mo Xiaoyun, he wanted to ask when that person encountered his wife. He was too nervous and didn't look carefully. He thought it was a torch. Now seeing it was really fire ability, he was shocked beyond measure. Why did his wife awaken so many supernatural abilities? Found a relatively hidden spot nearby to hide. Yao held his front paw, which had been burned, and was somewhat blackened, and asked Jinjuan Oni-chan, "Does it hurt a lot?" "I'm sorry. Really sorry. Staying there was just too dangerous, and I had no choice but to use this method to wake you up." His tone was filled with heartache, but he showed no regret. If it happened again, he would still do the same. Shen Jinjuan repeatedly shook his head. "Wife, how could I bear to blame you? I only blame myself for being useless and still having to rely on you risking danger to save me. The two waited for a while, and seeing that no animals had chased after them, they both felt considerably more at ease. Yao noticed Jinjuan gazing at him eagerly. So he spoke up, Jinjuan Oni-chan. You must be very curious about why I have fire-based supernatural abilities, right? The night was like an impenetrable piece of silk, tightly enveloping the entire snake tribe. Inside the chief's cave, he tossed and turned on the stone bed, unable to sleep. Feeling increasingly restless, his mind was filled with images of Zhang Duo stumbling to report to him, sobbing as he said that Yao had gone missing in the forest. He hadn't been too concerned at first, and sent many high-level beastmen from the tribe to search. Even several of his own beast husbands joined in. He had thought they would surely find Yao quickly, but now it was already deep into the night, and they still hadn't returned. She was getting restless. Could it be that Yao has really run into trouble? As a mother, a trace of worry still showed between her brows. Although she did not like Yao, after all, Yao was her own biological daughter, being out so late in that perilous forest. As the mother, how could she truly not be worried? He walked outside the cave, looked at the pitch-dark snake tribe, let out a sigh, then pressed his palms together, and prayed towards the east, muttering, "Great beast god," under his breath. I beg you to protect my daughter. Let her return safely. What was said after that was all carried away by the wind. After saying this, his expression returned to its usual authority, and he walked back into the cave, as if everything just now had been an illusion. Primeval forest, surface of the silver moon lake, scattered fragments of moonlight sprinkled here and there upon it, looking sparkling, exceptionally beautiful. Around the lake, trees formed a forest, overgrown with weeds. A gentle breeze brushed past. The branches and leaves of the trees swayed lightly, making a rustling sound. It all seemed very tranquil, yet who could have known? Within this seemingly serene forest lurked countless dangers. After Yao and Shen Jinjuan arrived at Silver Moon Lake, they initially thought they were safe, never expecting those animals' noses to be so sharp. Soon, they found their way over again. Luckily, Yao had fire-based powers, resisting while fleeing, wave after wave. But just as his powers were about to be completely depleted, he turned back with Shen Jinjuan, and along the way, he picked a type of grass with a very strong odor, crushed it up, and smeared it on both his and Shen Jinjuan's bodies, blocking out the smell of blood on them. The most dangerous place is the safest place. After those animals could no longer smell the blood, they were indeed shaken off, and like headless flies, chased farther and farther away from Silver Moon Lake. The disheveled Yao and Shen Jinjuan huddled together, smelling the pungent odor on each other. But he didn't have time to be disgusted, both gasping for breath heavily. Shen Jinjuan truly couldn't move an inch anymore. He felt his body had gone numb from the pain. Yao held his dog's head, stroking it again and again, giving him strength and comfort. After a good while, he said, "Actually, the ability I awaken isn't a specific type of ability, but a copying ability." The dog's blue eyes widened enormously. He no longer had the strength to speak, and could only express his shock this way. He had heard of the copying ability. That was 1,000 years ago. The ability possessed by the beast god before attaining godhood, known as the ultimate ability in the beast world continent. Copying, as the name implies, it is possible to copy the supernatural abilities of other ORCs for one's own use. But how exactly to operate? It is unknown. Who would have thought his wife master would actually awaken the same duplication ability as the beast god lord? Seeing him so shocked, Yao expressed understanding. After all, the duplication ability is terrifyingly powerful. It is the ultimate ability. Jinjuan Oni-chan. It is because these past few days, I was respectively responsible for the abilities of Page Zhu Ming's and Mo Xiaoyun and the others. That is why I manifested the wood element ability you saw, the healing ability, and the fire element ability. If I hadn't, before going out, copied Mo Xiaoyun's fire element ability, I'm afraid we would have already died here today. Thinking of something. Yao's expression turned serious. You have to promise me not to tell this matter to a third person. I've just awakened. Not yet strong. If the replication ability is made public now, it's inevitable to incur jealousy and hatred, bringing endless trouble. This is not something an ordinary wood-type ability can compare to. You are the only one who knows this secret, Jinjuan Oni-chan. I believe you will definitely keep this secret? Well, for me. Right. Mo Xiaoyun only knows he possesses a healing-type ability. He doesn't plan to tell the other beast husbands besides Shen Jinjuan. It's not that he doesn't trust them, but knowing he possesses the replication ability is not a good thing. If not for this time's unavoidable circumstances and shared hardship, he wouldn't have planned to tell Jinjuan either. After the shock, then Jinjuan used all his strength to speak. Jinjuan said he would always be loyal to his wife, would keep this secret well for his wife. Yao lowered her head and kissed him on his dog mouth, laughed and said, "So good. This is the reward I give you." Shen Jinjuan passed out contentedly. Yao held him tightly in her arms, softly said, "Sleep." He was extremely tired, but didn't dare close his eyes. Afraid of danger, looking at the passed-out dog, he remembered in his previous life when he was injured and near death. Shen Jinjuan held him in his arms just like this, holding back tears to comfort him. "Wife, don't be afraid. You'll be fine after a sleep. Jinjuan will stay with you. Will stay with you forever and ever." On the other side, in the forest, Zhang Duo and Ming En, searching for Yao and Shen Jinjuan. They, after hearing the wolf howls coming from deep within the forest, quickly headed towards the inner area. Along the way, they carried torches, calling out the names of Yao and Shen Jinjuan. "Yao, Shen Jinjuan, Yao, where are you?" Along the way, they saw many animals, seemingly searching for something as well. Upon seeing them, they ran far away. Originally, the Zhang Shilong intended to head directly to that place, but Qingju suddenly stopped him. "A fu, there's a silver moon lake around here. Why don't we go and look there first?" He specifically explained. "I've been observing along the way, and noticed that most of the animals we saw earlier were coming from the direction of Silver Moon Lake. What they were chasing. Could it be our wife and Jinjuan?" Hua Jinghong, flying mid-air, was somewhat disdainful. "Those wolf howls just now sounded like they came from that place. If we don't hurry to rescue them, why go to Silver Moon Lake? Aren't you afraid our wife might truly be in danger?" "Gu Qingju, you seem honest. Usually, who would have thought you're so malicious inside?" Seeing Hua Jinghong still trying to sow discord at a time like this, Gu Qingju gave him a cold glance. To get to the inner perimeter, one must pass through the middle perimeter. Even if going to Silver Moon Lake, it's just taking a different route. Gu Qingju is famously gentle and refined, but now his expression is cold. This was the first time everyone had seen him like this. Ming and the fox narrowed his eyes and patted his shoulder. "What Gu Qingju said is right. How about we go to Silver Moon Lake first?" The Zhang Shilong pondered Gu Qingju's words and found some sense in them, so he nodded and set off. Silver Moon Lake. Yao, the wife, Shen Jinjuan. In the latter half of the night, Yao finally heard the sound she wanted to hear. Her eyes filled with tears, smiling to Shen Jinjuan in her arms, who had turned into a small dog, said, "Jinjuan Oni-chan, we are saved." The clearest voice Yao heard was the Zhang Shilong. Holding the dog in her arms, she walked to a conspicuous spot and shouted with all her might, "A fu! We are here!" This voice, Meiji Nian, who was following behind the crowd, instantly darken his expression. That bitch Yao isn't dead? Is that useless dog Shen Jinjuan with her? Are they dead? In stark contrast to his reaction, Zhang Duo and the other male beastmen, upon hearing this familiar voice, were all very happy. It's Yao's voice. She's over there. Yao, Hua Jinghong flying in the air. The first to see Yao and the others. His eyes flickered for a moment. Shen Jinjuan. He and Yi Nian had set so many traps there. This useless dog not only didn't seem dead, but was actually saved by Yao. Things having come to this, he could only say to the Zhang Shilong below, a fu. The wife and Shen Jinjuan were standing on the opposite shore of the lake. The Zhang Shilong, upon hearing this, had tears of excitement glistening in its eyes. Its powerful 4 legs quickly dashed towards the opposite shore of the lake. It's really great. It really is. Yao and the others, Mingyan, Gu Qingju, and everyone else showed smiles and hurriedly followed over. When the Zhang Shilong was still 5 steps away from Yao, it instantly transformed into human form and pulled Yao and the dog in his arms into an embrace. He held very tight, his tall body trembling. But in the end, it only turned into one word, Yao. It's good that you're okay. Father, your daughter has made you worry. Yao buried himself in the Zhang Shilong embrace and cried for a long time. After raising his head and wiping away his tears, he smiled somewhat embarrassedly. Father, on the Zhang Shilong handsome face, there was a smile of having regained what was lost. He raised his hand and gently stroked her messy hair from fleeing. His heart ached. You don't have to pretend to be strong in front of a fu. If you want to cry, then cry. His Yao, because of his weak body, had almost never been to the forest, had been very well protected since childhood. Where have I ever experienced something like tonight's events? From his utterly disheveled appearance, one could tell. He must have gone through many dangers. It was him, as a father, who failed to protect his own daughter. Hearing his words, Yao truly couldn't hold back and broke into loud sobs. After letting it all out, she felt much better inside. Only then did Zhang Duo walk over, head hanging low, face covered in tears, twisting his fingers, voice choked with emotion. I'm sorry. It was me who lost you. Her lowered eyelids blinked slightly, and teardrops rolled down, falling to the ground, mixing with the dust into one. He was nearly dying of self-blame. How could Yao blame him? It was clearly she who had wandered off. Seeing how guilty he looked, too ashamed to face her, Yao stepped closer, gently embraced him. Duo, actually, I'm the one who should apologize. I was the one who insisted on begging you to bring me out. And I was the one who got distracted by and wandered further away. I made you worry and blame yourself. She lowered her head, bringing her face closer to Zhang Duo's, and said plaintively, Duo, I'm sorry. Will you forgive me this time? Zhang Duo was amused by her and his tears turned to laughter. Proudly lifting his head, he said, seeing as you've apologized so sincerely, I, being magnanimous, will forgive you this time. They looked at each other and smiled, and returned to how they were before. But we agreed, never again. Zhang Duo emphasized with tears in her eyes, heart aching. He never wanted to see Yao in such a wretched state again. It's really heartbreaking. Yao nodded heavily, watching their deep sisterly bond. Yi Nian looked on with disdain. Suddenly, he caught a whiff of a foul stench. Seeing the green substance smeared on Yao's face, he was filled with disgust. Yao, why do you smell so bad? Did you fall into some animal's feces? Seeing that he showed no concern, but instead picked faults, Zhang Duo was furious. Yi Nian, as an elder sister, not only did you not show any concern for Yao, but you also made such sarcastic remarks. Has your conscience been eaten by dogs? Unbeknownst to others, I thought you had some deep-seated hatred for Yao. Yi Nian was spoken to, suddenly feeling somewhat guilty. Was he being too obvious in targeting Yao? Seeing him remain silent, Zhang Qingyu frowned and scolded Zhang Duo. Nian is your sister-in-law. Why are you always targeting her? Besides, what she said wasn't wrong. He really does have an unpleasant smell on him. You, Zhang Duo, seeing her brother always protecting Yi Nian like this, was so angry from the scolding she couldn't speak. Her face turned red. Yao's expression darkened. He pulled Zhang Duo behind him. Then his face showed an apologetic expression. Sorry, elder sister. It must be the foul smell on me that offended you, right? Yi Nian waved her hand. It's fine. Elder sister is just concerned about you. Yao nodded slightly, but his eyes were already welling up with tears. Thank you for your understanding, elder sister. Yi Nian frowned. What are you doing? Why are you crying? Yao didn't answer. He just continued speaking on his own. Because I had the smell of blood on me. The animals in the forest were in relentless pursuit. On the escape route, if I hadn't coincidentally found this stinking grass and smeared it on myself, otherwise, tonight, I'm afraid. He didn't finish, but everyone understood. If not for the stinking grass masking the smell of blood and shaking off the pursuit, night, Yao would probably be torn apart and eaten by those beasts. He'd end up with not even bones left. Hearing this, Zhang Duo finally couldn't hold back anymore. He pointed at Yi Nian and cursed furiously. This disgusting grass literally saved Yao's life. You're actually complaining here that its smell got on you. The other beastmen's gazes toward Yi Nian shifted. Knowing he was in the wrong, Yi Nian swallowed his anger and stayed silent. He gloomily moved to the back. Zhang Qingyu and his other two beast husbands couldn't say anything either. They could only stand quietly with him at the back. All of their faces were awkward. Yao sneered inwardly. He stopped paying attention to them. Then, his eyes landed on Mingyan, staring eagerly at him. And Gu Qingju. He gave a faint smile. Ming and Oni-chan. Qingju Oni-chan. I must have worried you tonight. I'm fine now, safe and sound. But then, he lowered his head. His gaze sorrowful as he looked at Jinjuan in his arms. Jinjuan Oni-chan is gravely wounded, on the verge of death. And now, he's become like this. Only now did everyone notice Shen Jinjuan in his arms. Gu Qingju reached out and stroked the fur on his head, sadness flashing in his eyes. How did Jinjuan get hurt like this? Worry flickered in Mingyan's fox-like eyes. It seems this time, Shen Jinjuan's injuries are even worse than Mo Xiaoyun's last time. Zhang Duo quickly pulled Zhu Ming's, who had come along, urgently said, Father, please hurry and save Shen Jinjuan. Zhu Ming's also knew the seriousness of the matter. First, he transmitted some white healing-type supernatural energy towards Shen Jinjuan, then turned to look at everyone. His expression was very serious. He is severely injured. In critical condition. I temporarily used healing-type energy to protect his heart. Meridian. But this place is too dangerous. It's not a place for treatment. We must hurry back. Upon hearing this, seemed extremely nervous, agitedly grabbed Zhu Ming's arm. Teacher Zhu, you must save him. This was already the second time Zhu Ming's had his arm grabbed by Yao. The last time was during the bonfire party that night. But Yao is, after all, a junior. And now, with Shen Jinjuan severely injured. So even if everyone saw it, they didn't think much of it. Zhu Ming's nodded, I will do my best to save him. The rest will depend on his fate. They hurried back to the snake tribe. Yao never once looked at Hua Jinghong the entire time. He of the snake tribe couldn't sleep at all, until noise came from outside. Upon learning that Yao had been found, he then fell asleep immediately. The injured Huaiquan and Mo Xiaoyun, hearing the commotion, came out of the cave, saw many male beastmen discussing returning to their caves, gathered from their words that night, Yao and Shen Jinjuan had gone missing in the forest. But such an important matter actually had no one informing them. They originally wanted to go see Yao's cave, but heard that Jinjuan was seriously injured. Yao was fine. After Ming An and Qingju were taking care of things, They both went back to their own caves angrily, because Jinjuan is not an ORC of the snake tribe, just like Mo Xiaoyun. The high priest Zhang Rong still did not agree. Zhu Ming's exhausted his special ability to save him, which both wasted his ability and was harmful to himself. After ensuring